Hey everyone, hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shelly, and today I am going to be talking about something I basically never ever talk about on the internet, and that is money. Now, I'm not really going to get into the specifics, and I'm absolutely 100% not asking for money. I did want to have a conversation about what myself and I know millions of other people are going through in this moment. And if anyone finds this and finds it comforting or relatable, then awesome. Awesome, because that is the intent of this video, that you are not alone, and as I am processing my feelings about this, you can go on that journey as well. So if you are new to my channel, then hi, I'm Shelly. I absolutely love books and reading. That is what this channel is about. It is celebrating the love of books and reading. And today I'm going to weirdly be talking about money. So if you again, happen to find this and you like the vibes and you would like to subscribe, I would encourage you to subscribe and like the video, that thumbs up thing. That would be awesome. And without any further rambling on, let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. I guess I'll do this a little bit story time style. So back in like 2012 or something, the early 2010s, I worked at a library and I loved it. And it was also a very small, quiet, very quiet library. And while I was there, I decided you're getting all the context. I decided that I wanted to be a teacher. I thought it would be a little more challenging. I really wanted to work with young people, and I was working with young people at the library, but it was only once or twice a week, and I wanted it to be a little more full on. And at that point, I became a school teacher. And somewhere along the lines of being a school teacher, I was like, I want to marry the two things. I want to be a school librarian or a librarian that works heavily with children, like works quite a lot with children, because that is where my passion lies. I love picture books. I talk about picture books on my channel, and I just love books and reading, and I wanted to share that love with the young. And I was noticing that as a teacher, the demands of being a teacher didn't often leave a ton of room for me to bring forth some of the projects that I had in my heart to fill with books. And I thought maybe being a librarian, there's like a million reasons why I wanted to become a librarian. And I live in South Carolina, and in order for one to be a school librarian or to have the library be a more an option to move up, in the work world, having one's master's degree is a great thing. Like, it is a really lovely thing to have, just for work options and basically just for work options. That's really it. And so somewhere like 2016, 2017, I was like, okay, I want to be a librarian, and I want it to be with an accredited school, a nationally accredited school, so that my library degree is going to be recognized within my whole nation, And so I ended up getting into the library, the Masters of Library and Information Science, the MLIS program at the University of South Carolina in Columbia. I was about to say in Columbia, but no, at the University of South Carolina in Columbia. And I did my first semester 8 months pregnant, and the day after I turned in my final assignment, my second son was born. I had a couple of weeks with him before returning into school, and I did the master's program while being a mother of 2 little babies. Not that I have twins. My kids are 2 years apart. I went to school with the 2 little ones, and it was hard. It was one of the hardest things that I've done. Emotionally, just having so much responsibility and wanting to do well in the program, wanting to be a wonderful mother. And just it was a lot. It was a lot, let me tell you that for sure. And it definitely stretched me as a person. And I was an incredible student. I was a really, really, really good student. And I did incredibly well in the program. Now, in order for me to go to school, I did have to take out student loans. And quite thankfully, like so thankfully, my husband had an incredible job. He's working somewhere else now, but at the time he had an incredible job. And he still has a fantastic job. And I did not have to take out any student loans to cover mortgage or food, to put food on the table, nothing like that. All of those expenses were covered. My student loans were to cover the units, like the credits I was taking at school, and for books. And I think that's it. Like it was pretty much those things. And you know, school is expensive. So I knew that that we would need to take out some student loans in order to cover the bill so that I could go to school. And again, very, very thankful and grateful that I didn't have to take out loans in order to live or anything like that. So, you know, I did school, and in my last semester, which was at the beginning of 2020, it was from January to May of 2020. In my last semester, the global pandemic, the COVID-19 and the global pandemic broke out, and it changed the world. It changed that last semester. I was going to do like an in-person graduation. We ended up doing it online, and we ended up celebrating in so many ways, you know, my graduation from graduate school. So I don't really feel remiss or anything about the pandemic happening as school was ending or anything like that. It was just a very weird last semester. And then I was done. I was graduated. I had my master's in library and information science with an emphasis in children's literature and a special certificate to be a school librarian. And I was on top of the world. I'm about to say at that point, but what I really mean is at this point, currently, right now. At that point, I have applied for a lot of jobs. I've worked at a lot of different places. But thus far, I have actually not worked in a place in which I've used my master's in library and information science. All of the jobs that I have worked have been more aligned to my teaching degree than my library science degree, which I find comical with what I'm about to tell you. So, because of the global pandemic, student loans were on deferment for a long time. And because they were on, you know, they were just, I'm sure that it was for millions of students. And I know this because of something I'll tell you in a bit. So we always knew that these loans would come back and we would have to start paying on them. Now, my husband and I, we are not strangers to student loans. We have both taken out some student loans in order to do our undergraduate coursework. And, you know, so we kind of had a sense of like what it would be for my graduate school, like what the payments might be like, and we had some idea of what that life is like. So, a few months ago, we get a letter saying that deferment is over, which we were expecting, and they put us on a super aggressive repayment schedule, like a mega aggressive repayment schedule, like astronomically high payments to get this loan paid off. Wow, it was a lot. It was like unsustainably a lot. And so in our economic circumstances has changed a little bit and all of that. And so we were like, okay, we got to do something about it. So I was like, oh, I am going to take the loans that I own, I'm going to consolidate it so I can apply for some other programs. And the first step is consolidation. And we thought maybe consolidation would be enough, like putting your loans together, and then maybe there would just be like, they would spread the loans out for a little bit longer, and we'll be paying for longer, but it'll be less every month, and that would be more manageable. Well, most recently I got a letter, and the payments are not much less. Like, they are still wow, they're still quite high. We can manage it. I'm not asking for money. That is not what this is about. In no way am I asking for money at all. But wow, the payments are quite high, and they have spread it over 25 years. And because of the interest that is going to be accrued, I'm going to be paying just the same amount of my loans and interest. Like, I'm going to be paying more on interest than I am on my loans. So, for example, if, I'm not saying that these are my totals, but like, if I took out $50,000 to do graduate school, I'm going to be paying like $55,000 in interest. In the hypothetical that I gave, the total amount that I would eventually pay over those 25 years would be $105,000. And I'm going to be paying it over 25 years of my life. And wow, and the payments are not like $40 a month. No, they're a lot higher. And I am just like, I'm just kind of befuddled and discouraged and overwhelmed and shocked. Now, there are some things that we are planning on doing, and I'm trying so hard to contact the folks that own my student loan. But since this is happening to millions and millions of students, since there's like millions of students who are now off of deferment because they decided to stop everyone's deferment pretty much at the same time, the phone lines literally have this message of, since millions of students have now been out of deferment and have to repay their loans, you might be experiencing higher than normal wait times. And I'm like, yeah, or longer than normal wait times. I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, so I can't get anyone on the phone to ask. And I'm like blindly trying, well, I am not blindly, I am like reading intensely and like focusing my energy and like doing all of the things on figuring out like what the best plan is to repay. And it just is a lot. It's a lot. And I wanted to just put it out there and say that like student loans really suck. Like, and again, I know school costs. I just didn't quite expect it to cost like so much so fast in a lot of ways. And also I didn't quite expect inflation to go up the way that it has, and for all of this to come at a time in which like it's just virtually impossible to get anybody on the phone. So, you know, if you also are experiencing this student loan thing, or just having like money lenders barking at your door, I don't even know. I can't even align this situation to something else that I've experienced. It's just like, you know, the way that the cookie has crumbled. It's like, I knew I would have to take out loans to go to school, but the way, and I've had experience with student loans, but the way that it's all coming together of having to repay these student loans is just wildly different than what I had expected. Like, wildly different. And it sucks. Like, it sucks. And usually I'm a super happy, cheerful person. But as I've been trying to process like what is happening with student loans, which is just like draining and confusing, not my favorite thing to like spend my time doing. And now I'm spending my time doing a lot of it, like trying to figure it all out. Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. So yeah, I don't know if this was helpful, but I do hope it was. And if you have stories or want to lament, or just, you know, bond, not over negativity. We're not bonding over negativity. It's just like acknowledging that there are some situations that are out of our control, that we will climb the mountain. Like, we will climb it together. It will all work out. Like, we can do this. We got this 100%. But as I'm processing, in my moment of processing, I'm like, wow, girl, that is a lot. That's a lot to process. And so I just you know, sometimes it's hard to do other videos when I feel like I have something massive on my mind, and this was massive on my mind. And I know intellectually I'm not the only person experiencing this. Intellectually, I know that. But in my heart, sometimes it feels like I am alone, or me and my husband are the only ones going through this right now. But yeah, so that's it for me. Kind of a weird, wonky, odd video, but I hope that it sufficed. And if you're here and you enjoyed, again, I would encourage you to subscribe. And just know that if you are in some sort of debt of whatever kind and you're feeling like this is terrible and it sucks, just know you're totally not alone, and that I am your cheerleader saying that we got this, and there is a way, there will always be a way. And I do feel hopeful amid also just feeling like this kind of sucks. So, okay, I don't think I've ever said sucks so much in a video. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye.